Have you ever wondered, should I buy a property and make it an Airbnb? That's a really good question and a great investment. I'm going to tell you today all about the pros of owning an Airbnb. Thanks for tuning in. If you like videos like this and you want to know more about the real estate industry or market or Seattle specifically, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love to have you follow along with us. So you might be at that point where you're thinking about investing in your second property, or maybe this is your first property, but you want it to be an Airbnb. Today, I'm going to tell you all about the pros, the positive sides of owning an Airbnb. And then in the second video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the cons of owning an Airbnb. So let's start with the positive, the great things about owning an Airbnb. I myself am an Airbnb owner. I do love it, and I love the pros of having an Airbnb. So the first thing that is a pro of having an Airbnb is oftentimes you can make more money on Airbnb than you would be able to by renting your property out monthly or even in an annual lease. Because you are charging per night, you're often able to generate a little bit more money each stay because you are charging per night instead of a rate that's spread over 12 months. So typically you do get a little bit more profit by doing an Airbnb. Now, the caveat there, and what we'll talk about in the cons, is that income is seasonal and it depends on where your Airbnb is, if it's a tourist destination, and you also have to pay for cleaning. So a few costs to keep in mind, but generally you will net more money in an Airbnb. So that's the first pro versus renting it annually. The second pro of having an Airbnb is really the flexibility. So you don't have a tenant long term. So you do have people coming and going frequently, and so you never have to deal with a bad tenant for too long. If someone who comes through Airbnb is pretty bad, you hopefully only have them for a little bit of time. So you do have more flexibility. You can also block off dates that you don't want people to stay. So that is a positive. If you do need flexibility in how you'll use the property, you are really in control of that. So that's really the second positive of owning a Airbnb. Now, the third and final really great thing about owning an Airbnb is that while you're renting this property out, it is appreciating. And so if you can keep this property for a really long time and keep it rented out, you are seeing appreciation in the market. Again, the caveat is it depends on which market you're in. There are market cycles. I'm not saying there aren't market cycles, but generally over time, over a long period of time, that home or property is going to be appreciating. And so you are going to be making money, hopefully, when you sell it. Now, I'm not saying that everyone makes money when they sell. It depends on your financial situation, how long you've invested in that home, if you've made any upgrades. There are caveats there, but generally over time, you will be making money on that property and it's appreciating. So those are the top three pros, I think, of owning an Airbnb. Really, you can make more money than an annual lease. You have more flexibility in the schedule and how often you rent it out and with which renters. And then third of all, that the property will hopefully appreciate over time. If you have any more questions about Airbnb, don't hesitate to reach out. You can call, text, email, or direct message us at any time. Don't forget to follow us on social, and stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to go over the cons of owning an Airbnb, which will give you the different perspective on the bad things about being an Airbnb owner. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this and other Seattle real estate market updates. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.